All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping headfirst into a really fascinating and super detailed interpretation of the apocalypse. This source material lays out a precise step-by-step timeline for the end times, all based on the seven trumpets from the book of Revelation. So let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, you gotta get your head around this prophetic framework. It's not just a straight line from A to B. The best way to think about it is like a set of Russian nesting dolls. You crack open the seventh seal, and what's inside? The seven trumpets. And then later, when the seventh trumpet sounds, that reveals the seven bowls of wrath. It's this wild cascade of judgments, with each one tucked inside the last.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the countdown to it all and a really surprising period of peace. Then we'll get into the judgments that fall on the earth itself, followed by the unleashing of demonic armies. And finally, we'll look at the incredible mission of the two witnesses and, of course, the final act of this prophecy.
Okay, so according to this interpretation, these trumpets aren't just random punishments. Not at all. They're described as very specific, targeted warnings, and they have a crystal clear goal: to completely wipe out idolatry from the world and make sure everyone, everywhere, worships the sun.
Now this is where it gets kind of interesting. Before all the chaos of the trumpets really kicks off, the source describes this totally unexpected break. After a devastating global conflict they call the Great Tribulation, the world suddenly enters a 13-year period of absolute peace. But don't get too comfortable. This is definitely the calm before the storm.
And this period of peace, it's not just a timeout. No, it has a very specific purpose: to let a whole new generation of really key figures be born and grow up. The timeline is incredibly precise, right from their conception, through their childhood, all the way until they're sealed in this divine ceremony when they turn 12. The peace holds for just one more year after that, and then bam, the first trumpet sounds.
So, who are these key players? Well, here's the number: 144,000. According to this text, these are divinely chosen servants, and they are the whole reason for this 13-year pause in the first place.
And the origin story for these individuals is, well, it's really specific and pretty out there. It claims they're conceived after their mothers are abducted from Jerusalem by the world's kings and leaders. So they're born into the global elite, but they're set apart for a divine mission from a very young age, which all leads up to this supernatural sealing ceremony.
All right, so the peace is over, and now the judgments begin. The first four trumpets are all interpreted as these massive plagues that target the earth itself. Each one is a direct, specific act of payback against the natural world.
First up, we have this absolutely devastating ecological disaster. A third of all the trees and all the green grass are just burned away. And the source argues this isn't random at all. It's direct retaliation for the persecution of the righteous, who are symbolized as trees. And it's aimed specifically at Rome for the symbolic burning of the Vatican, which the text calls Lebanon.
Next up, a huge cataclysm strikes the sea, which the text says is the Mediterranean. A third of it turns to blood. And get this, is presented as divine payback for the nations that divided Jerusalem and, according to the source, abducted half of its population, the very same event that led to the birth of the 144,000. See how it all connects?
Okay, the third trumpet gets wild. It poisons the fresh water. And the source makes this really fascinating linguistic connection. It identifies the star wormwood with the Ukrainian word for it, Chernobyl. This plague is linked directly to Russia as punishment for rejecting divine justice during that earlier Great Tribulation.
The fourth judgment. This one might be the weirdest one yet. It actually messes with time itself. The source claims this isn't some eclipse, it's a literal speed-up of the Earth's rotation, making both day and night shorter by a third. And it's interpreted as punishment for suppressing the light of the gospel, which is symbolically tied to the sun, moon, and stars.
Okay, so up to now, it's been natural disasters, right? As extreme as they are. Well, with the fifth and sixth trumpets, things take a sharp turn into the supernatural. We're moving from natural disasters to a full-on demonic assault against humanity.
And this is a huge shift in focus. The abyss gets opened up and out come these demonic locusts, but their orders are super specific. They're forbidden from harming nature. Their one and only job is to torment, but not kill, any human who doesn't have the seal of God.
And right around here, the source identifies those two infamous beasts from Revelation. It argues they're not some new creation, but actually two legendary monsters from ancient texts, Leviathan, the beast from the sea, and Behemoth, the beast from the earth, who becomes the false prophet.
So, when that sixth trumpet hits, a demonic cavalry is unleashed. And the size of this army? Get ready for it. 200 million. I mean, that's a number that just dwarfs any human army, ever.
And unlike those locusts from before, who were just supposed to torment people, this massive army has one clear mission: to kill. A third of what's left of the human population gets wiped out by these plagues of fire, smoke, and sulfur coming right out of the mouths of these demonic horses.
Okay, so in the middle of all this escalating chaos, who finally steps onto the world stage? The 144,000. They've grown up during all these previous judgments, and now they begin their prophesied mission. This text says that collectively, they are the two witnesses.
So what do? Well, their job is kind of twofold. For 3.5 years, they travel all over the world to preach, giving everyone a final chance to repent. But they also have some serious divine power, with the authority to call down plagues of their very own. They're part messenger, part enforcer.
So after all that devastation from the sixth trumpet, and after the witnesses have done their thing, the stage is now set for the final act.
And this quote is highlighted as being absolutely crucial for the timing of the end. This global mission of evangelism by the 144,000 is presented as the very last prerequisite, the last box that has to be checked before the whole thing comes to its ultimate conclusion. And here we are at the climax of this whole timeline. Remember those nesting dolls from the beginning? Well, the seventh trumpet sounds and boom! It doesn't unleash just one plague, but 7 more, the bowls of wrath. This is the end of the trumpet judgments, and it's the beginning of the final, most intense period of tribulation, the reign of the beast.
And that's our deep dive into this incredibly detailed prophetic text. You know, whether you see it as a literal prophecy or just a powerful metaphor, it really leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? What is it about chaos that makes us need to find, or maybe even create, such intricate order within it? Thanks for joining me.